Yay.
Yay.
So here we are. And hopefully people will be tuning in.
Yes.
Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Coffee talk. And my friend Andrea here, an amazing photographer and many other magical capacities. What's that in the background? Is that a purple fuzzy?
It's a purple fuzzy lamp.
Shade. Oh.
Yeah, and behind it, I don't know if you can see it there.
Yeah.
It's a large format camera. So it's a 10x8 camera.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how large photos do you actually produce?
Like this. So as big as the camera back itself.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I remember going to a museum once and seeing, I can't remember the name of the artist, but he used a large format camera and he took pictures of like crowds in a stadium and blew them up like 10 feet. But you could, because of the format, you could see all the people. It wasn't blur.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Cool. Wonderful. Wonderful.
There's an idea for you.
That's an idea for me. Yes. I'm already getting images in my head of all the possibilities there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you?
Wow. What isn't going on? I mean, we've been talking about this before, how, this reality is so fluid now and it's getting less and less solid. And with all the change, with what's been going on, with the classes I've been taking, with the choices I've been making, some more interesting than others. And yeah, I'm really wondering what else is possible now that I couldn't even imagine. Because I mean, my world, the way it is now, it's so different than what it was even yesterday, let alone 6, 8, 10 months ago.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you try to do the old thing to, just out of habit or something, and then you catch yourself?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Because it doesn't work anymore.
No, it doesn't work. I mean, functioning from, reference points from the past, never worked, and now even less than ever before. And especially since, my friends, the ones that I actually do talk to, because there's a lot of others that I enjoy having like a 5-minute conversation. After that, I just want to run out. As much as I adore them, but that's all I can take.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're all changing. So functioning from reference points is just not working. I mean, it's really this thing of like, who am I today? Who am I right now? And what's going on? And also catching myself where, I've been choosing certain interesting things like self-judgment, for instance. That is a big topic in my life right now, that just show up in a million different ways, and applying that to myself, the relationship to myself and my body, to my business, to my relationship with Amanda, with my wife, and everybody else. It's just something else. It's something new. And it's really this thing of like, even when I was a kid, I always thought that I was some kind of an alien that landed on a weird planet, and I just didn't know where the hell I was. And now it's even more of that, except that this planet is just inhabited by a lot of other aliens.
Yeah. You're
different
finding
planets.
Your people.
Yeah. So, trying to function with what you have been thinking that was solid and real and stable and whatever, is like, wow.
Yeah, it really forces you to be in question. I mean, more than ever.
Yeah, and trusting the universe. That's that little thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know it's really strange, creating with no reference points. It's just like, whoa. Yeah. And sometimes I'm like, am I doing enough? Because there's also this space and this sort of relaxed feeling. And in the past, it used to be like, okay, I got all this stuff to do and my schedule is do, 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 do.
Exactly.
Um, so how do you find you are creating things from this new space?
Well, it's, I don't even know how to put words to it. I mean, I made some choices lately of, well, I just got this thing that I wanted to contribute to other facilitators. And the first one that popped was actually Anthony Mattis and Rachel O'Brien, and then Diva Diaz. So I'm contributing to them, and it's not this space of like, I want to contribute because having an outcome in mind or whatever. It's just that a yummy energy that popped with the three of them.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, yeah, what else is possible? And I'm not even interested in putting a deal in place or anything like that. It's just like, really, what contribution can I be? And when I put that, and the first time it came out of the castle when I had Rachel and Paul in front of me, and it just, when you see words coming out of your mouth, and you
Yes.
go like, wow, what was that? That's
Yes.
yummy. And it was this yummy energy of like possibilities. And since I made that choice, I chose also to be a caller for access. I'm making calls for classes for Gary, for Dane, for Brendan. And we just had a create meeting with Brendan actually now a few minutes ago, and it was a very different meeting because it was just space.
Mm-hmm.
It was not these meetings like, okay, so we have to put this in place and this in place and this in place because A and B plus C will equal D, that hopefully will go to E, and et cetera, et cetera. No,
Right.
it was just like space. It was just like, and that for me is so much yummier than having to have all these fixed things, because we are energy. We are complete energy. Even on the physical level, it's just pure energy of molecules that have actually nothing in the middle of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're made of nothing except for energy. And our projects, our creations, are energy as well. So trying to solidify all of this it's actually been an insanity and an unkindness both to us and our creations. So already a couple of years ago, I chose to really listen to what the creations desired, where they wanted to go, where they didn't want to go, if they wanted to rest. And you know how we make ourselves wrong when you have a project going on and it stagnates and it's not moving and whatever, and you make yourself wrong and everybody else wrong and the situation wrong, and all of those things, and that doesn't create anything.
Right.
And and I got that was actually the creations. It was actually one particular creation that gave me this awareness of like, hey, can you chill down right now, because I'm actually working right here. I'm creating for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, and unless you give me the space to create, I can't provide you with anything. I can't contribute in any way.
Yeah. So like asking, okay, what's going
Yeah,
on? Can I contribute to this?
exactly.
Is there anything required?
Exactly.
No, I know. It's so funny. Like it's so simple. And
Yeah.
yet we'd rather just go to the conclusion, I'm not doing enough.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It's
Exactly.
it's insane.
And then we all have our, well, I guess we should get our hopes and dreams buzz around more frequently, but we have this energy of, well, at least I have an energy of what I desire to create with my life.
Uh-huh.
I have a very clear energy present most of the time of what I would like to choose more of, and what I would like to see more of on the planet and in my life in particular.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really at that point of, without anything being established or fixed or predetermined or set or whatever, is really knowing that the universe has your back, and allow it to show you what it has to gift you in whatever way it is. And there comes the judgment part, because yeah, And until we judge ourselves or the outcome or whatever it is, then we're destroying whatever else is possible that is actually greater.
Yeah. So for the people listening, can you share how you got to the awareness of what you'd like to create?
Yeah, 59 years of of being in this body and in this planet, and several businesses that some of them have been very successful, and others that were successful and then went bankrupt, and relationships. And relationship wise, until this one with Amanda, it's just been unkind relationships. And I couldn't even see it then. And it was relationships where there was a lot of judgment, self-judgment and judgment of each other, and maintaining the relationship alive, well, pretending for it to be alive, even though both were totally aware that it was just not working, and not having the vulnerability to say, hey, is this working for you? Because it's not working for me. And if it's working for you, well, can we look at it? Because this and this and this doesn't work for me. So can we make it work some way? It's this thing, okay, so what is this? What can I do with it? Can I change it? And if so, how can I change it? And it's the thing of being willing to change things in order to make them work. And after you tried, for a while to make them work, changing those things, and it still doesn't change, well, then you have choices. Well, you always have choices.
Right. We always have choice. We just don't always remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, if we talk about relationships, I mean, with Amanda, I've been talking quite a lot about this lately, because the last, 6 to 8 months has been, wow, very interesting and very extremely intense. And it could have been very, very easy for either of us to just say, you know what, let's open that bottle of champagne and bye-bye. And we did bring up the subject a couple of times. And it was, well, no, okay, so what are we actually choosing? What do we desire to create? And do we actually enjoy creating together and empowering each other to actually create for ourselves? And that especially came up very, very much just a couple of months ago. And it was actually Amanda saying that, she thought that most of the co-creations that we have, I was the source of them. And I said, well, okay, I get it, but just for your information, I actually got the same thing, but towards you. That all of these would not be alive without you.
Right.
So with us seeing this, I really see that they are co-creations, and not me or you or whatever. It's co-creations. And that was initially, the conversation was very uncomfortable, especially for me, because I went straight into projections and expectations and scenarios or whatever of being left alone with 32 projects that we started together. And I was like, how the hell am I going to deal with all this now that everything is pretty advanced? And first of all,
now that sounds like a question, but it wasn't actually a question.
No, it was not. It was not. That's one of those questions with a massive conclusion attached, i.e., I'm going to drown.
I'm glad I'm not the only person who still does that.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not. And it was the thing of Amanda just saying, hey, I have your back, and no matter what I choose or you choose, I mean, I'm not just leaving you with everything there. It's either going to be a transition phase or something else. And I don't know. The thing that I do know is that I want to create more for me. And when she said that, I was like, well, I want you to create more for you. Yes. I would love to see you, flourish even more and really explode. And because, I mean, she's so potent and she's such a creator of magnitude. And yes, and I said, and if I can contribute to any of your creations, let me know. But I'm there. So yes, go for it. And then when this conversation happened in Mexico, before we came back to Sweden, and when we came back to Sweden, we have a massive whiteboard with all our projects written up. And we just stood in front of the whiteboard and looking at each one of the creations and asking questions. Okay, so is this for me? Is this for you? Is this for both? And the whole thing took just 5 minutes. It was
Mhm.
super easy, and it was super obvious to both of us where these creations wanted to go.
That's so
Right.
cool.
And it's really cool. And since that happened, Amanda's been choosing a lot more for herself, and I've been choosing a hell of a lot more for myself too. And we're really like, supporting each other that way. And then, having said that, it's not that, finally I found the recipe for, ever-ending happiness, everlasting happiness. But it gets even more intense at times because awareness increases. And when when the awareness increases, for me, I'm at the stage where I can't yet see where the awareness is coming from, whether I'm aware of something that's relevant for me, or whether I'm just aware of somebody else's universe that has nothing to do with me.
Mhm. Well, that's where the question comes in handy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
takes
at
a
the
split
very
second.
beginning, you were talking about self-judgment, and I wonder if that's awareness of
Yes.
others.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for that, Julie. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I've been having some very interesting conversations with Amanda, one actually as late as yesterday. And it takes a split second when you choose to go down that road, and it's actually a downward spiral of crap.
Yeah.
And it's really a split second of, instead of going like, okay, so is it mine or is it somebody else's or something else's, and start with that. That has to be the starting point.
Yeah.
And the
And
second you
then,
go, well, it's not mine. Okay, fine.
yeah. But like, we also, hopefully, we've built up enough of the muscle of awareness that when you start that downward spiral, because you didn't choose out of it,
Yeah.
it feels heavy. And you're like, okay, there's your second tool. Heavy as a lie. So
Yes,
wait,
exactly.
hold on.
Exactly.
Emergency brake.
Exactly. But I'm quite clever in that way, because when it gets heavy and I go, there's a lie, I automatically jump into the second spiral that leads to the third spiral and the fourth spiral of like, oh, there's a lie. Okay, so somebody's lying to me, instead of, no, there's a lie. This is not true for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I actually told Amanda a funny thing the other night, after a call that we were both on, her from Mexico, me from Sweden, and it was this thing about self-judgment, and what it actually is mental masturbation.
Yeah.
When it leads to mental masturbation right away. And I called her, I said, hey babe, next time you see me, because she sees me right away, immediately, she just sees where I'm going.
Yeah.
And she gets frustrated because she's going like, okay, we've had this conversation a million times and you still choose to go there. And I was like, yes, and I'm trying to get out of it, and I'm struggling, kind of thing. I don't know, I'm making interesting choices along the way. And I said, next time that you see me mentally masturbating, just, if we're in different parts of the world like now, just tell me to go and masturbate, because it's much more fun.
Yes. Get out of this head.
Yes.
Another thing that really works when you find yourself doing that thing that's so habitual and you're like, shit, and you can feel it, but you're like still going.
Yeah.
Dane brought it up in the certified facilitator training.
Right.
Everything that allows this to exist, pot and pock.
Yes,
And
right. Thank you for that reminder.
And
yes.
I have been doing that too, with
Yeah.
any time I'm going into my head or projecting something, or thinking I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
Everything that allows this to exist, pot and pock, and it does
Ah.
change it, and then you get space again, and then it's like, okay, now
Yeah.
what to choose.
Yeah, thank you for that one. Thank you for that one. Great reminder. And what a class that was.
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
Amanda was there and you were
Yes,
online.
I was online and she was there. Yeah, she was working that class and then she worked the other class afterwards. Yeah.
Cool.
And she's coming home. She's going from Puerto Vallarta to Mexico City now in a few hours. And then tomorrow she's catching a flight home. So I can't wait to see her.
Nice. Yeah. It is so nice to be able to create on your own and create together, and like be able to have the conversation about it.
Yeah. Thank you for that, because that actually brought something up for me the other day, and I was trying to put it in words to Amanda, and I didn't really manage to do that, but I think I can now. And it's really this thing when when you're with somebody and in a relationship, for instance, or with a friend that you see very often, you're there, and it's not that you talk constantly. You talk when there's something to say, or it's not even if it's nothing important or value to say, there is this, the voice, and this communication, somehow verbal or non-verbal, that is present when you are, at least this is what goes on for me, when we're in two different parts of the world. This is missing, so it's replaced by a phone call or a video chat, where you have this window of time and space to communicate what they have to communicate. So any spaces of silence are judgeable according to this reality, and I actually enjoy the silence.
Yeah.
But that, combined with the fact that Amanda hates talking on the phone, it's kind of creates a very weird energy sometimes. And I was trying to put it to words, and yeah.
Something that worked for me when I had kids, and maybe very different for you guys, but Susie taught me this with animals. Like when you're away, when I was away from my kids or even my cat, and they'd like freak out because they didn't feel my energy, I learned how to leave my energy there and to continue to check in from time to time, and yet still be doing whatever I was doing and creating my life. And when I'd come home, they'd be fine. And actually, most recently, my son, who's now 21, he said to me, I don't miss you when I'm away. He's away at college. He's like, I don't miss you. And at first I was like, oh my God, he doesn't miss me. And he's like, because I always feel you. It's like, oh, right. So you don't have to speak. You don't have to do phone calls. You can, but you can send them an energetic hug. You can tap in and know, oh, wait, I need to call them. Or you can give them space. And how beautiful is that?
Yeah, we were actually playing with this energy the other night. Amanda was having a dinner, and I was in bed or ready to, fall asleep. And I was with our little one here talking about animals. Look at this cuteness.
Aww.
Puppy. And I was with him in my arms, and it was a yummy space of, having his contribution. And Amanda was in this restaurant in Mexico, and she ordered a lobster. She sends me a picture of it, and it had like a sauce that could have been oil or butter or whatever next to it. And I immediately perceived the taste of that. I said, could you please ask the chef if it's melted butter with garlic and lemon? And she said, well, there's garlic, but I don't think there's lemon. Let me ask. And then she came back, she said, yes, it's garlic and lemon and melted butter. and I said, well, can we please play more with this? Because I don't know if you've seen the series Sense8. And for me, that's not fiction. That is just something that we really have available.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's part of the 9 trannies.
Yeah, it is.
Our capacities and
it is
very cool.
And to explore more of that, wow, what a different world.
Yeah. So what if we're not wrong?
Yes.
Even if we screw up, what's right about this?
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So, recapitulating, what's been going on for me is really this thing of self-judgment and judgment in general. Is this thing of allowance, and what awareness actually is, and what vulnerability is, what honoring is. These things that I thought I had sussed out, but in actual fact, I'm still wondering what it actually is.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why repeating the foundation, the choice of possibilities, is so wonderful, because wherever you are, you get the tools from that space. But then when you become more and less defined, you can get it in a whole different way. And
Completely.
The first time I heard this stuff, I thought I had it all figured out.
Yeah.
And I was right.
Yep. Yep.
And gosh, I just facilitated foundation a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, like even I was getting totally different awarenesses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I love that.
I love that too. And it's funny how, you hear things when you hear them, you get it when you get it. And also for me, I was in a COP with Brandon in Mexico City last year,
Mhm.
and I heard something about honoring, and I interpreted it in one way and
Mhm.
acted accordingly and made interesting choices and screwed up big time and made myself wrong for 2 hours. So it was pretty good. So it was just 2 hours. And then I was like, okay, well, all right, I I fucked up, but I didn't do it with the intention of, hurting people or
Mhm.
whatever it is. And what else is possible? And how can I repair the damage done, basically?
Mhm.
And then getting awareness afterwards from another class of like, actually no, from a facilitation from Brendan, where he told me, he said, well, yes, well, I said that, and what you didn't hear is this and this and this and this. Basically, the thing of honoring, of treating somebody with regard.
Mhm.
Don't be an asshole, basically. Don't,
Right.
yeah.
It's like you hear it through your filters of
Yeah.
your points of view,
Yeah.
and then you listen to it again and you have less points of view, so you hear more, and then you listen to it again, you have less points of view and you hear
Exactly.
more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you can do that and not judge yourself for having those points of view in the
Yeah.
first place, then
Exactly.
you're getting somewhere.
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
Really cool.
Wow. Well, this was really fun. I
This
mean, the
is great
time went
fun.
by like boom, so
Wow. My
fast.
God. Yes. Yes.
Time is funny. Anyway,
And
I appreciate the conversation, and hopefully
yeah.
the people listening in the future will also have some aha moments.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, what's going on in your universe?
In my universe?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm going to New York this week. I'm going to be facilitating my first Talk to the Entities beginning class. So I'm super excited
Wow.
about that.
Oh, wow.
And I first thought, oh, I want to have it in this fabulous hotel in New York. And then we moved it to New Jersey into someone's house. And it
But
just felt so heavy. It's like, no, it wants to be. So it's back in New York in this
cool.
fabulous hotel. And I have no
Cool.
idea what's going to show up, but I was tapping into it this morning and it just feels so fun and light. I
Awesome.
wonder what all those unknown adventures are going to be and the people that I'll meet. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I have way too much fun with that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
And enjoy your reunion with your wife. And oh, she
thank
said
you.
hi here.
Oh,
Hi,
she's online.
Karen.
Hi.
Yeah, and I hope to see you guys somewhere in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah, soon.
Yes, I really hope so. And yeah, really, really have fun with Talk to the Entities class. I mean, it's amazing. The first time I heard anything about Talk to the Entities was from Anthony Mathis on a little taster. And I
Mhm.
suddenly realized of how much I'd been, inviting entities and demons in my life and how I've been functioning according to that. So yeah, well, this is a long conversation in itself. And yeah, it's fantastic.
People have no idea how much freedom you get from
Yeah,
learning the tools for
yeah,
that area.
exactly.
But
Exactly.
hopefully they'll be curious enough to find out.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Wonderful.
Well,
So
have a great rest of your day.
thank you. You too. Have a gorgeous day.
Okay,
Take
bye.
care. Bye. Bye bye. Mwah.